You know the real reason why kids are so cool? When was the last time you met an adult that could do this? And okay, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I could just stop right here because I think that's already an infinitely small number of riders. I mean, the only Superman I've ever done over a jump was in the last video when I did so unintentionally.
Oh God. Oh my God. Oh.
But the point I'm actually trying to make is, when was the last time you met an adult that actually could do this and was also humble about it? Yeah, that's right. Never. Because let me tell you, if I could do stuff like this, not only would I be doing it over every single jump I found, but you better believe I would never stop talking about it because, well, you know, it's freaking rad. But see, that's where kids are just different, because despite so many kids being absolute next level shredders, they're also somehow still extremely unpretentious about it. And it's that rare combination of bike prowess mixed with not yet being caught up in the social world of adults that makes them so dang fun to hang out and ride with. In today's video, I get the pleasure of meeting and riding with a few such shredders on some absolutely dreamy PNW single track, and we're gonna see if I can't hold my own and keep up. But before we get to that, the last I saw you guys all, I was still up in Whistler, and I actually stayed up there for a kind of vacation within my vacation. Well, I don't know what it is. Is it vacation if I'm filming? Is it work? It's all kind of just blends together. But the following week after Seth headed home, I actually took a 100% vacation with my mom and brother who came up to visit. One of the things I was most excited about was getting way up to the top of the world. This actually took us a couple tries because the first time a storm rolled in just before we were about to head up the final chairlift, but it turned out to be a pretty cool turn of events because we ended up hiking up the side of the mountain a ways through these massive snow walls. On the second try though, we found success, and man am I happy that we did. Since I've been coming out here the last 2 years, like pretty early season, I haven't actually been able to get back to the top since my first visit in 2019, and I had kind of forgotten how incredible it is. I showed Mackenzie the sky bridge and we got a ton of epic photos, and we finished by trying our best to take some pics that made it look like we were falling to our deaths off the mountain, you know, to send to our mom. No, my mom didn't come all the way up. She's actually terrified of heights, and believe it or not, she did go all the way up back in 2019, but she said it was enough to go once. And to be honest, I get it. Despite it being super epic up there, I can also understand how this chairlift could absolutely be terrifying if heights aren't your thing. Anyway, we had a blast, and after the week was over, I came back across the border to the US to link up with some friends in Seattle for a ride.
Today I am coming at you from Darrington, Washington, a little town just northeast of Seattle that I've never been to, and we are going to go on a ride at a brand new location, somewhere I've never ridden on this channel before, and I'm quite excited. But first, I got to drive up and meet these guys.
Upon arrival, I immediately knew this was going to be a fun day. We had a moody PNW, overcast weather, and I was meeting up with my friend Ryan and a bunch of his friends, including his buddy Mikey, who camped out here last night with his whole family and this super cool shuttle truck. No, it is not a K truck. Yes, we are totally getting into it later. I know some of you love to see me suffer and all, but despite being out of the bike park, we are indeed shuttling today. Not that you have to do that here, but it was what everyone else wanted to do, and you know, who am I to argue? That being said, once we got to the top, we still did actually have to pedal a few hundred feet, which I was actually really appreciative of because I really struggled to drop in without a warm-up.
All right, welcome to the top of the mountain. What is the name of the mountain that we're on, guys?
North Mountain.
We're on North Mountain, and we just shuttled up for like 40 minutes, and now we're gonna pedal up a little bit higher and just drop right in. We got a huge lap ahead of us, and I'm pretty excited. It is like really nice out. Oh,
just as I was settling in, I went to shift and
oh,
What happened?
is my battery dead? How is that possible? I just put in a new one.
oh man, that is such a terrible feeling of immediate dread that washes over you, wondering if you've just completely ruined your ride over something so small. You know, this is my first bike I've ever owned with the electronic shifting, and I'm pretty sure I've only forgotten my battery like once, maybe twice.
Wait, now That's weird.
Regardless, I honestly think I might move back to cable shifting. I don't ever really think I minded the cable in the first place, and my pink trail bike actually still has one, and I honestly can't remember the last time I had an issue with it. I'll step off my soapbox now. Let's meet our crew for today.
So if you guys have been watching since last year, the channel, you guys will remember Ryan, and you did me the favor of wearing the same jersey, so that makes you easy to...
long sleeve I own.
And so what's y'all's names?
My name's Harry.
Lyle.
Harry, Lyle,
I'm Mikey. I'm Lyle's dad.
Mikey, and Mike. What was your name one more time? Lola and Alice. Ashley, I didn't even have it right. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Love your channel.
Thank you.
Fun fact I learned later on, Ashley here is actually somewhat of a local celebrity in Seattle as a DJ at the KEXP radio station, which I actually had just made a point to visit while in Seattle with my girlfriend. It's pretty cool. Anyway, if you didn't catch it, Ashley and Mikey here are Lyle and Lola's parents.
So we're riding a trail called Out of the Blue. I think it's a single black with optional lines. Apparently it's a super long downhill. I'm gonna definitely start out slow and feel my wrist out.
If you remember, back in the first couple videos from my time here in Whistler, I began the visit with 2 crashes, both on my left side, which, man, my poor left side, I don't know why, but like almost all my impacts seem to be on that side. Neither of them were really consequential, but they did leave both my wrist and shoulder feeling quite sore for a few weeks. So far, I had been doing a pretty okay job managing this, but it was definitely on my mind, and to be honest, my wrist is just now starting to feel 100% again, so I had definitely tweaked it pretty good.
All right, on to the trail. We got a little traverse, they said.
While we're on the topic of taking care of ourselves, let me take a quick minute to keep these videos free and tell you about the awesome sponsor of today's video, Grunes. I know you guys all know this theoretically, but the videos you see from me are the highlights of my day. But what you don't see is all the prep that goes on behind the scenes that ensures I'm physically up for these big consistent rides. The preventative physical therapy or regular gym sessions, and most importantly, my nutrition. And that is exactly where Grunes has been an absolute game changer for me. Grunes gummies aren't a multivitamin, they aren't a green gummy or a prebiotic. Actually, it's all of these things and then some, and at a fraction of the price, and that's why I decided to partner with them. I'm gonna level with you guys. The taste is what really sold me on these. Well, that and the fact that they're a bare gummy that feels more like a treat and not a powder that I have to drink. And I assure you, you will actually want to eat these. I've literally had to hide them from my girlfriend so that they don't mysteriously disappear before I can come film today. We're not talking about a single gummy, by the way, but a full-on snack pack, which is key because you can't fit the amount of nutrients they include in just one gummy. Grunes has 20 plus vitamins and minerals in 60 ingredients, which include nutrient-dense whole foods like organic kale, blueberries, and spinach. For me, the biggest benefits have been the improved gut health and energy, which naturally helped me feel more ready to tackle those big days out on a bike. And a bonus for me personally, I don't know for anyone else, but I always get a craving for something sweet after dinner, and no joke, these are so tasty that they actually hit that craving so I don't find myself reaching for the ice cream, say. So yeah, if you're looking for a simple way to take care of your body so that you can focus on the adventure, give Grunes a try, and right now is the perfect time to do so because you guys can get up to a whopping 52% off by using my link down in the description below. All right, now let's get back to riding.
So Lyle, you've ridden this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so your name was?
I'm Mikey.
Mikey.
Yeah, we ride
Harry.
a lot.
Harry has not ridden this.
Never before. Oh, you never been on this trail?
But Harry has done a 40-foot drop, so I'm not that concerned about him.
Oh.
Harry here is another local budding mountain biker that Mikey has taken under his wing and who I will be doing my best job to keep up with on our first trail of the day.
All right, let's go, bud.
All right, dude.
Oh, the dirt. Man, it sounds so good on the tires.
So far, so good, I'd say. I was warming up, doing a pretty good job keeping up with Harry.
Yeehaw.
It was around this point when I was, feeling pretty good about myself that Harry hollered back at me to let me know we are now officially on the real downhill.
Yeah, we're on the real downhill.
Okay.
That is just before pulling away and putting quite a bit of space in between us. That's okay though, it's a new trail, and look, if I've learned anything about riding out here, is that pretty much anything goes on trails, so I'm always a little extra cautious when riding new ones.
Techie turn, yeah.
The top end of this trail wasn't anything too difficult though. The hardest part was a bunch of tight switchbacks that were also quite steep as you turned into them, and sometimes even had rocks or roots to add even more spice.
These are kind of tricky. Not too bad.
I felt like I handled them well enough, and along the way, I think we all realized what the real challenge of the day was going to be. Freaking wet roots.
Oh, and these roots, oh my gosh. When your back wheel gets on the roots, it's sketch. Yeah, those roots are, those roots can be a little sketchy in there. Yeah, guys.
It wasn't long before we came across our first feature, a technical turn down some solid rock jank, and it was pretty interesting to see the difference between how the young guys approached it versus the rest of us.
Oh, shit. Just doing it without looking. Yeah, Lyle. You.
To be fair, I do think Lyle had ridden this before, but Harry had definitely not. What a beast. That ain't me though. My bones break when I crash, so I went to check it out, and I'm actually really happy that I did because I found a line that I liked more than the one that they had all been doing.
There's a line up here where you can really open up the turn.
That's true.
That's what I was wanting to do. Be careful, not too much pressure.
Yeah, that's nice.
Whoa,
Off brakes. There you go.
Oh my nice, dude. Come on, Mike. That was a little sketch.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes, Mike.
Good job, guys.
Turn the camera on.
Nice. Matt.
Mike.
Mike and Mikey, not Matt and Maddie.
Guys, look, I'm gonna take this opportunity to make everyone aware. I am so bad with names, and I meet so many people. I just want to say, if our paths have ever crossed and I've either not remembered your name or completely butchered it, I am so sorry, but it is not personal, I swear.
Yeah, man. All right, following Lyle again. Lyle, you're shredding, dude.
This next bit of trail is where I really started to see what Lyle was capable of. I started to notice him get much more active and dynamic on his bike. I know it doesn't look like anything crazy on the video, but this by no means was an easy trail. There were some really weird route sections, some spots that were quite steep and wet, and even a few decent sized drops through there that he didn't even flinch at.
A little bit of a drop there. A little bit of a gap. Yeah, guys. Yeah, bud.
And yes, I'm sure, as you all will notice and kindly let me know in the comments, there were definitely some times that he put some solid space between us too. What can I say? The kid is fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Good drying. Real good, dude.
Oh yeah, and speaking of activities reserved for young guys, both Lyle and Harry here were on full-on DH bikes, yet not once the entire day did they get off to walk it up a climb.
How are these guys pedaling downhill bikes uphill?
Not once.
All right.
Eventually, we came to a section that had some jumps, and it was actually really wild to watch Lyle throw that huge DH bike around.
Yeah, bud. You. Yeah! Woohoo! Oh, this is cool.
Okay, so now it was time for a real feature, and this one was actually really interesting and deceptively difficult.
I go right down the center and then air to the left.
That's what I see.
There's a root at the bottom, but
While Ryan and I stood around analyzing our lines, Mikey dropped right in and showed us how it's done.
fast, bro.
Ooh.
Gosh.
Ooh.
Dude, that pedal was close. I've never seen anyone go that fast before.
Something you all might not have realized yet is that, yes, the kids are fast, but guess who's off camera out front leading this entire time? Yup, it's Mikey. Once I got to see Mikey ride up close, it became quite evident where the kids were getting it from.
Just because he's doing it doesn't mean you got to.
As I tried to be a responsible adult and reassure Lyle that he didn't have to do it if he wasn't feeling it, he reassured me that he got this.
Oh, just right in.
Like father, like son, I guess.
Nice, dude. Great brake control.
Well, I suppose it's my turn.
Jeez. Yeah, you still go pretty quick, but you're catching like the right rhythm, and yeah, that's tricky to go fast though, I'm not gonna lie.
So I think this feature is actually really interesting and presents a good opportunity to talk about a riding technique that is absolutely essential in order to navigate more advanced rock rolls. So let's take a minute to break it down. The thing with a feature like this is that it has two aspects to worry about. It's both steep and choppy. And a lot of times when a feature is choppy, say like a rock garden, an experienced rider knows to be central on the bike and stay loose so that it can move around underneath them. On steep stuff, however, a lot of riders tend to cheat and move way back to the rear of their bikes. And a lot of times, yeah, with a straightforward rock roll, you can actually get away with this, but there's two issues with it. First, when you're in such an extreme body position, you become really unbalanced and therefore susceptible to sudden changes in grade. That's why sometimes you see people either loop out or get slingshot straight over the bars at the bottom of a roll once it levels back out. The other issue is that when you're way on the back of your bike, your front tire no longer has much weight on it, meaning you've lost most of your brake control. Again, not such a big deal if you're on a straightforward rock roll with a good run out, but on something like this that is longer with multiple rock rolls and a tricky run out, gaining too much speed can be a big problem. So the key here is to stay central on your bike and be really physical with your front end. You need to stay loose and let the bike move around freely, but also rather than just letting your front wheel kind of float off of the rolls, you need to be physically forcing it down in order to stay in contact with the rock as much as possible so that you can really use that front brake effectively and control your speed. Every moment that your tires are off the ground is time you are picking up speed. If I slow this clip down of the kids, you can really see how their tires are coming off of the rock, leading to them going much faster, also causing Harry to get offline at the exit. Whereas Ryan's tires in this clip stay in contact with the rock the entire way down, and therefore he's able to control his speed the whole way and exit with tons of control. I know that was long-winded, but I hope that makes sense to, I don't know, at least some of you.
Yeah, buddy. Woo! You guys are pushing the limit of how fast you can take that. Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, man. I'm proud of you. Good, Ryan.
All right, now that we followed Lau for a while, it's time to give Harry another follow down the lower portion of this trail that was just reworked.
All right. Ride your own ride, though, Harry. Don't worry about me, dog. You know the drill. If you lose me, you lose me.
Ryan was actually just telling me earlier that a group of local riders, including himself, had just spent 3 days camping and working on the trails out here for one of their birthdays. If that isn't indicative of how cool the mountain bike community out here is, I don't know what is. Shout out to all you guys, by the way. Thanks for putting in the work and keeping these trails in such great shape. I was able to stay for the most part on Harry and Mikey's wheels, but the moment that we hit a tricky spot that forced me to get on the brakes a little bit, they were gone. The lower section of this trail was so sick, by the way, and I think this is the point where I finally started to feel pretty good and warm. I stopped thinking about keeping up, just focusing on my own ride, and as is always the case when I do this, I rode more fluidly and fast.
Harry said he's only been riding like a year and a half. That's insane. Guys, this is ridiculous! Oh my gosh, that was so good. Yeah, guys, that was wicked.
Oh, it's a good ride.
Yeah, man, that was really fun.
That's a workout.
Yeah.
After some fist bumps and a quick geeking out about the loam coating my bike, it was time to head back up for lap number 2, and though I didn't know it yet, the guys had their eyes on a double black for this one.
All right, lap 1 done. That was freaking cool. That was called Into the Blue? Out of the Blue. That trail was super fun, and man, that was like exactly what I want when I come to ride in Washington. The dirt was real nice. The routes were super sketchy, and there were some really challenging spots there. But most of all, just really fun ripping single track. We're doing some shuttle math, and we're gonna go back up.
While we waited for our lift, Lyle hopped on his dad's bike that's something like 4 sizes too big for him and showed off some of his impressive wheelie skills. Fun fact about Lyle here, you obviously can't miss his massive head of dreads, but what's truly spectacular is that hair on his head is all of the hair he has ever had. Yes, he has never once had a haircut, and the bottom of his dreads is the very hair he was born with. Pretty cool. After a bit, we got scooped up by the shuttle, and, well, we had a pretty eclectic group of vehicles for the job.
Harry, how was that, dude?
Well, it got sketchy at some points.
Some more preferable than others, but definitely the coolest of which was Mikey and Ash's red truck.
Is this a K truck? What is this? I was like, it's too big.
A Japanese fire truck?
All right, so this is Mikey.
Yeah.
And he's the one who has outfitted this Japanese fire truck. He's gonna show us the setup.
So it's pretty simple. This is leftover tubing from railings, and it fits 5 bikes. And in between this space in here, that's where I actually fit the grill.
That's like cargo. Yeah, that
That's
makes
where I
sense.
fit the grill.
Yeah, so the
And the
storage
bucket.
zone right
Yeah.
here.
It actually works very well because you can actually stack it with tools,
Yeah.
coal, and the grill.
Got your rake.
And then in between the bikes, I fit food and the helmet.
Cool.
You know, and it's just a chill little truck. You know, like, it's little, but it's mighty. It still has the siren.
Wait, really?
Yeah, and it works.
Do it.
Sure do.
Yeah, do it. How often have you used that?
I can't. I get in trouble.
Yeah, you get in big trouble if you do that in
What's
town.
the worst part of it? Look at it. I don't know what it
You don't
means,
even know which
nothing.
button it is, yeah.
So I'm like, oh my god, how do I turn it off?
Dude, this thing. So sick.
You walk around always just to make sure.
Look at this service.
Okay, I gotta take a minute to shout out our amazing shuttle driver Keaton here. Keaton is a fan of the channel, and despite having broken his hand a few weeks earlier riding, he didn't want to miss out on all the fun, so he came out anyway to hang today. And not only was he still in awesome spirits, but he was absolutely the unsung hero of the day, doing a lot of the shuttling work in the background that made the whole day possible. He actually even got a flat on the way back down from one of the runs in Ryan's truck, and by the time we were able to reach him, he, no joke, was already halfway through the tire change, which I have no idea how he did because his left arm was in a cast. Keaton, if you're watching this, man, you are a BAMF, and I can't wait to actually ride with you next time.
You're driving this down for us. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Dude, you were the man. Thank you.
For our second lap, we had a new member added to the crew.
The whole crew plus another. We got a new addition, Christian, over here. And he's got a crazy downhill bike.
I actually didn't get any close-ups of his bike, which is such a shame because it was a super custom and interesting bike. Kind of like Christian himself.
Christian, you ride with the AirPods in?
He's out. I guess so.
I guess don't ride in front of him.
Yeah, dude, you can hear anything.
What? Who does that?
As we were waiting on Christian to get his ear pods in and realized that we were all sitting there waiting on him, I actually found myself thinking, if we were a big mountain bike family, Christian was totally the kooky, fun uncle. Like, in a good way. Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, that's me too.
I'll follow you.
Though I don't have them on camera much, I definitely want to shout out Lola and Ash because you better believe they were there riding everything with us today. Now it's time to change that though, so after making sure she was cool with it, I dropped in behind Lola here.
All right, we're following Lola here. Lola's smooth. Oh gosh, wet roots. Nice, Lola. Way to get off the brakes there.
Lola was clearly comfortable on the bike and knew exactly what she was doing. Actually, as I was making this video, Mikey was bragging on her, sending me a clip because she is starting to hit jumps too.
Yeah, Lola. Dude, killing it. So smooth. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Just how spicy is Jackpot?
It wasn't long before we came to a split in the trail where there was the double black option called Jackpot. Given it had started to drizzle again, I was a little gun shy, and look, when someone from the PNW calls something spicy, I listen. Eventually, though, the guys did convince me it would be fun, so I dropped in behind my fellow Funkle Christian.
All right, dropping in on the double black option called Jackpot. Oh my gosh, wet root right out the gate.
It was clear pretty quickly why it was called a double black.
It is steep with wet roots everywhere. That was spicy. That was really fun. It is so dark in here. I don't know if you guys can tell. I think we might be off the spicy. Nope, not off the spicy. Oh, weird root right here. Weird root everywhere. Pretty loose right here.
There were indeed some technical and weird sections on this trail, one of which apparently just about got Christian.
What happened? I just saw someone get super loose, and then I heard it, ah!
He drifted that
Oh,
section foot off.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was super fun.
I've definitely not done that before.
Man, they're just right back into it. I love it.
Unfortunately, you can't save them all. Remember how I said earlier that it was like really dark in the trees? Yeah, well, if you listen closely, you can hear Christian say,
You okay?
I can't see.
I can't see.
One sec.
Looking back at the footage, I totally believe him because nothing really happens. He was in total control and then just aims off the side of the trail, randomly causing himself to crash. He actually later in the day confirmed it was his prescription glasses that were fogging up and he couldn't see anything.
That was sick. That was awesome.
With everyone having navigated the really gnarly double black successfully so far, the stoke was high when we paused for a break. Jackpot, definitely recommend. That trail was super fun and I'm honestly really happy that we rode it. I was especially happy to see my buddy Ryan getting his mojo back. Like me, he was recovering from a crash and I think that riding this trail was exactly the confidence boost he needed.
I needed that.
Yeah.
I haven't hit anything like that in a while, and my hand is
High
cooked.
five
But
to that, brother.
You needed the confidence boost? How was that, guys?
That was so much fun.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that was rad.
It's really incredible what riding something difficult together successfully can do for the vibes on a trail. Heading into the final section, everyone just came alive with excitement, and it led to what ended up being my favorite part of the day as I followed Lyle down this absolutely ripping section of single track.
Yeah, bud. Whoa! Wow, such nice berm! What? Yeah, bud. Oh, yeah!
To say the stoke was high as we headed back to base camp would be an understatement.
Yeah, buddy. Dude, you were sending it. Absolutely slaying. Dude, that was so much fun. We absolutely just squandered all that vert like real quick. And it was so worth it. That was freaking rad, dude. Oh my gosh. That was such an awesome pull, that last section. That was so fun.
that was so good.
So yeah, kids are fast and the future of our sport is very bright. But as always, this doesn't just come from nowhere. It was clear that both Ash and Mikey, actually even Christian to be honest, were all really great mountain bike role models for these kids, stoking the flame of riding and providing a supportive environment for them all to learn it. Mikey here definitely felt like a kindred spirit and an awesome ambassador for the sport. He has a seemingly infinite passion for riding bikes, not to mention is clearly a really skilled rider, and if I had to guess, I'd say a lot of the impressive skills these young riders have probably originated with him. Mikey is a welder by trade, and as we set up to enjoy a little cookout this afternoon, he pulled out this super cool custom grillito, as he called it, that he had welded up, and Ryan wasted no time throwing on some strip steaks that he had marinated to get cooking. In the end, I gotta be honest, guys, I don't really care if I can keep up with the younger guys. I know that there's always gonna be someone faster than me, but for me, as long as I'm able to be out here riding my bike on some fun trails with friends and at the end of the day enjoying this right here, I'm gonna be happy. As the party wound down and everyone started heading out, I did too, except I only made it a few hundred feet down the gravel road before spotting a perfect little nook to park Dora in for the night. So I actually ended up sleeping on the mountain, and it was quite spectacular.
Washington is so insane.
If you guys are still here watching, I just want to say, first of all, I'm sorry. I know my voice has been going out this whole time and it probably sounds weird, but I also want to say thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and I truly hope you enjoy coming along for the ride with us. You know, it's because you watch that I get to keep being out here living my dream, and it really means the world to me. That's all for today though, and you better believe we have so much more fun ahead. Until then, you know what to do. Live free, ride hard, and get stoked, my friends.